Alright guys, after finishing the single bathroom on the other side, I was able to jump back here and wait. I had to wait till Monday till the cabinet guy was open because I had to get a couple of pieces ripped down, the filler pieces on this side and symmetrically on the other side as well. So this cabinet's set, it's plumb and level both ways, and I decided to, domestic hot and cold water stayed where they were, that's fine, but the drain line, 2-inch drain line, I was going to originally, like from the slab, offset at 22 degrees, 22.5 degrees and come back, so I would be in the center of this cabinet here and not hit any of the rails or the stays with regard to the drawers. And I would duck out into the other cabinet on the first drawer on the bottom, so I would destroy probably about 6 inches of the first drawer in the back. And you know, going through there is a nightmare anyway. So I decided to run it into the toe space because I didn't realize that these cabinets, toe space in this cabinetry by the slab or the floor is 5.5 inches. It's like a lot of room. So I said, why don't I just use that for, you know, taking the 2-inch drain line out over this way. So I rolled it from the stack. I cut the stack back where I had to, rolled a 90-degree elbow, had a little piece, and then another 90-degree elbow turning, and then this 90-degree elbow you'll see here in the other camera. The other camera will show this view, and I'll pop it your way when I'm finished with this. And that's pretty much it. So I saved myself a lot of trouble. And but I just marked out the holes here. I have 2 side holes for, one is for the 2-inch drain line that goes in here, and I'll be looking up, and the domestic cold water over here in the back, and the hot water will be inside there. So I have 2 pipes that actually pass through in this particular case. But I have a 3-inch opening for this in the bottom of the cabinet in the front, and I have I usually go 1.5 inches round on these 2 inside there. So I'm only concerned about these 2 openings here. I'm going to cut and should be able to go over that, and I'm going to cut the circles out for these 3 openings, hoping that my numbers are right. I'm hoping, because the walls are not right. This wall is bowed and this wall is bowed. The floor is not level at all, especially over there. I had a hell of a time trying to get that, the big vanity you saw me do the first one. That was not easy, but we got it done. Anyway, so that's what I'm going to do now. You'll see me do this and cut all this stuff up. All right, so here we go. Alright, so I shut the main off outside, and I ran, you know, I turned the couple of sinks on the other side of the house, in the kitchen and a slop sink in the laundry room, take the water out and take the pressure off the pipes. Anyway, now I'm going to take these shark bite valves off, the new shark bite valves off, and you use this little plastic thing. It looks like a horseshoe, and it goes underneath, and you got to really pull up to release it. But first I'm going to open up the valve to let some of the water out. Takes a little doing, but you gotta apply pressure on this up and pull up at the same time with the valve, and should be okay. So I have to figure out an elevation for this, just the same as the other side. I think it was 5 inches above the floor inside. So let me get that measurement. Like I mentioned on the other video, you have to make this cut perfectly level across as much as possible, perfect, because, you know, beyond that grabbing shark bite thing is the O-ring, which you got to shove it really up in there. So then this way it won't leak. So here we go. Okay. Now we can see if all my holes line up. The rectangular through the toe space, and also the holes for the drain line and the 2 domestic waters. We'll see how that works out. Hopefully it does. All right, the moment of truth, I call it. We'll see. Hopefully I got this right. I did screw up one of the holes on the other side of the house coming out of the drain coming out, because it doesn't come straight out. It's off a stack, and the elbow was swept into the elbow was sweeping into the cabinet, and so I had to make an adjustment on the hole. But the other 3 holes in there worked out fine. Anyway, here we go. Let's check it out. See what we got. It lines up. I can use it. I can work with it because I have a 1/4 inch of play in the back. Remember, I had to strike a control line here too, 21 1/4 inches off the wall. Now this wall is bowed out from the corners for whatever reason. I have no idea. It could be the studs in the back. I don't know. But I've been making adjustments. This is perfect, plumb and anchored in all the way. So I'm going off this one, and hopefully we end up, you know, here and not out on my neighbor's yard. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. So let me just get this all secured. So like anytime you use, you're installing cabinets, whether it's in the kitchen or in, you know, bathrooms, you always got to play with something. It's always the floor is out, or the walls are not perpendicular to each other. There's a bow in the wall like there is here. You know, you start off right, and even though I plumbed this both ways and you know, it's perfect, I still had to make adjustments on this, you know, and that's what happens. You have to move along. So now I'm going to secure 1, 2, maybe 3 screws into the face frame, and I use 2.5 inch wood screws. Okay, but I pre-drill everything. You must pre-drill everything. Pre-drill everything you're putting in here and everything you're putting into the back walls or the side walls when you're anchoring it in. Even when you're doing between them, I put a block in between here on each one, or maybe 2 blocks. It depends. And I screw it in that way, you know, from here. And on those screws, I'll use sheetrock screws. I won't use the wood screws. It's no big deal. But so here we go. I'm going to get the first one here. I got this lined up perfectly. And make sure they're flush. 2 more to go. I could use one here, but it's going to be tough to drill here because this is so small. I'm not going to be able to get that. And if I take this out, this cover panel, they have plastic, I guess they're stays or whatever. They have a male and a female. The male on this side, the female on the cabinet itself. You push it in and it clicks in. I'm not taking that off. You know, years ago you would unscrew it or something like that, but you can't do that now. Everybody works with plastic. So what I'll do is I'll put a block in here, and I'll do this with the block. And I'll use an 1 5/8 drywall screw for this. No big deal. Okay. I'll put the one down that side. Alright, that's fine. I think what's going to happen is, because this is a 21-inch base cabinet, it's a sink base, we're getting 18 and 3/8 inch wide by 12-inch rectangular undermount sinks. China, they're China. Not from China, well maybe they are from China, but they're made out of China. So what I'm going to do is when the guy comes next week to do the templates for all these counters, I'm going to ask him, obviously, I'm probably going to have to cut this out so that the 18-inch sink will go in there, not a problem. No big deal. It's going to be fine. It's going to be secured, whatever it is. We're dealing with plywood here, and you know the cabinets are pretty strong. So that's probably what's going to happen now. Now I'm going to anchor this in, but I'm going to double check everything. Double check my level front to back, side to side. Also the face frame, if it's straight or crooked, because it could happen like over there it happened, and I had to readjust stuff. I may have to shim it up or down, so I don't really know, but I use this guy, zircon, and you got to kind of play with it because sometimes it picks it up and sometimes it doesn't. It'll also do electrical, which is very important. You'll see the electrical light go on over here, and you don't go anywhere near that. But it'll show like a red arrow, the beginning of the stud, and you move it along on the wall really slowly, and you'll see the other side of the stud. I'll illustrate that for you in a few minutes. So that's what I got to do. I want to anchor this one in good. Maybe if I can get 2 studs, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. But this is secured to here, which is secured to here, and I just want to get 1 or 2 in here in the sink base. And then I'll cut the liner like I did for the other one and put it in here. Put these scutcheon plates on. I want to put a piece of pipe on this first. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. And then I'll be able to put the valves back on, make sure the valves are shut off, and then turn the water back on. So right now, let's just anchor this in. All right, so I have a beam here. I have a a stud back here, so I'll be able to get that right in here, no problem. Okay, that's home. That's good. So I'll show you how that beam, how this works. Let me show you how this works. All right, so I have the camera really zoomed in. I'll show you. You should be able to see a red arrow. It starts to go up with a red line, and then you see the arrow on the wall. See if we can do this. You hold it tight to the wall and you move it slowly. Okay, right there's the arrow. That's the beginning of the wall stud, and then you just keep on moving. And that's the end of the wall stud, 1.5 inches, or 1 5/8 rather. That's how this works. It works pretty good. It also will tell you, like I said before, about electric, which you don't want to go anywhere near anyway. So we're going to keep on moving on. All right, guys, that's a wrap on the cabinet installations in both bathrooms. This one was a little bit tougher because of the plumbing was archaic. I had to do something different with this, the plumbing that came out of the floor. But the cabinet went in no problem. The walls weren't square or straight at all. There's a bow in this wall, there's a bow in this wall too. You can't see it by the naked eye, but when you go to put cabinetry and it's built correctly, you see the problem. That's why we shim everything all around. Everything, even new construction, they still shim. Kitchens and bathrooms, they shim the cabinets somewhere along the line. Nothing's perfect, the floor's not perfect, the tile work is not perfect, the walls aren't perfect. It is what it is. But that's all finished now, and we contacted the countertop guys, and they're going to come out next week sometime. I didn't get the exact date yet, sometime next week to get the counters, the templates done for the counters for the quartz and the sinks. The other thing is, the next time you see me, I'll be doing tile work, finishing tile work, little pieces here and there to finish that up. The finished work, the devil's in the details. Finished work and all that stuff. Once the tile work is finished in both bathrooms, then I'll do the 4-inch toe space. It's actually 5-inch toe space, and I have something really nice molding for that. So after that, Dennis is just going to tie it all in and then do the plumbing, the final install on the plumbing with the fixtures and the sinks, and that'll be it. So all I can say is please like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you on the next video.